Let's get into it. Welcome to another episode of the Black Excellence Club podcast. My name is Sakudini. I am the host, and I am on a journey from unknown to unforgettable. And today I have with me Nathaniel.
Correct.
All right.
That's me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Nathaniel. Oops, sorry. Ooh. Taking the headphones off.
Okay. I am an artist. Obviously, I'm from Bermuda. I do fashion. I paint. All around creative.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, when did your passion for art begin?
Since birth, really.
Okay.
Yeah, really. To be honest, my dad's a potter.
Okay.
If you're older, you probably know my dad.
Mm-hmm.
For pottery, or you have something in it. So I've always been around it.
Okay.
And I started drawing with him since young, and I've always been into it. So since birth, really.
Okay.
But then, I guess I've taken it more serious since last year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
So then that's when I started seeing that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I guess I always knew I was not gonna do a regular 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. I knew I was gonna do something different. So being an artist was always in the plans.
And when did you get into fashion?
I mean, we all wear clothes, right? So, and you most likely probably want to look good. So I guess it started around middle school, right? So going out at May 24th, you want to I started working around 12, 13, usually what most people do, start packing groceries. So I started packing groceries to buy clothes, really.
Okay.
So at that point, I guess technically that's fashion. It's not good fashion, but I guess then. And then when high school was ending and I sort of had to pick a career path, I wanted to pick something in the arts, but I'm a stubborn person, so I didn't really want to go I don't want you to tell me how to paint. So I was okay, what else? I wanted to do fashion because I wanted to do something creative that has a creative element to it that has a direct business application. So that's where I wanted that's when I started taking it as this is something I want to do rather than participate in.
Okay. So when did you how did you come up with the name Hooddvouge first?
Okay, so around the end of high school time, I created a private page, really, to start posting art that I do, and a Pinterest type inspiration type stuff. And then I sort of took all of that down and just made it my own art. And I think it was someone else that I knew. I think Yasser. He had something Vogue in his bio, and I was oh, that's cool. What how could I do a spin off of that? And I guess I took it to be in the sense of oh, I want to be the Hooddvouge. I want to speak for the people that don't get spoken for.
Okay. And when you say Vogue, you mean the magazine?
Yeah, it's
fashion?
Really if I could pick a better name, I probably would, but it's stuck and people know me as Hooddvouge, so it's all right, cool. I'm waiting for that cease and desist. So then I'll change it. But yeah.
Have you ever thought of copywriting it?
Yes. I'm just a little lazy about that, I think.
Should do it before they raise the taxes in Bermuda.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're about to raise the prices apparently.
Okay.
That was a big discussion on Twitter yesterday.
Noted. I'll do that.
Because
I'm curious on what Vogue. At some point, they're gonna know who I am.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like you're using it alone, so I don't see why you couldn't. Because even when I was looking at trademarking and whatnot, you can use the same word, So it all depends on how you spell it.
Right.
If you include capitalization or no capitalization, like different things like that, is what I learned when I was looking into it. Because my mom's like, well, you need to look into it because all the people that have the Black Excellence Club out there. I was like, well, okay, that's fine. This is where my ownership comes in. It has SR in front of it,
Right.
and that's my initials.
Yeah.
So therefore, they can never take that away from me.
Got you.
So that's the only
Yeah.
reason why it's SR Black Excellence Club.
Interesting. Okay.
Just for the ownership aspect of
that. I think that's good. I'll probably do that. Like.
and
ASAP.
if you have and I mean it also has hood in front of it, so why can they?
Yeah.
Why would they want to take it from you?
True.
Because they're not representing the hood.
Yeah, they're definitely not. They're definitely not.
So it was just
I'm
like
good on
what?
that too. That's a good idea.
So the hat that you're wearing is a recent release.
Yeah, that is. I'm wearing like all.
All your stuff.
No, so this is.
That's the new release.
Yeah, that's a new release. This is Distinct Collectives. This is
Okay.
the homie Antoine.
That's
People
the,
know him from, maybe from, he had the show In the Know.
I feel
It's
like I've heard of it, but
And he
it's-
owns this brand with his friend Rodrigo.
Is that
and
the
then-
one?
Got Never Invited, that's my other homie's brand from Bermuda.
Okay.
And then pants that I made and shoes.
Okay. Distinct. That sounds familiar.
I'm sure you've seen their stuff.
Do they
He did the silk. He started off with do-rags.
Okay.
Those are going crazy in like 2016.
I feel like it just sounds familiar. I think I'm probably mixing it up with someone else because I think I'm probably mixing it up with someone else. But okay, I've
Maybe.
heard the name for it. Definitely heard the name.
You get
of
to
it.
know.
Yeah. So what is the? Why does it say art dealer?
Okay, so the hat. I want to create like products for artists by an artist. So I wanted to create something that, like, okay, I could go into so many different ways of explaining my process on this, but I'll give this first. I wanted to create something that when you put it on, it's almost like a self-promotion and just like, cool, like if you're wearing this hat, like, yeah, I do art, I sell it, buy it, like, it's like sort of like a promotional thing.
Okay.
But like on a level of like, I don't know, maybe psychology is the right word for it, but like I wanted something that like when people wore it, they felt like they're like, oh, I'm going to work with this, or like I wanted to create something that was more than just like a piece of clothing that had like a meaning for the person. Like,
Okay.
yeah, maybe you have like that one like hoodie. Do you have like a piece of clothing that you wear just like comfort thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, like these. That's like me for these jeans. I wanted to
Okay.
create something for people to like wear that was like, yeah, I'm on it today.
Okay. I like that because I have a clothing brand as well. It's really called like I'm still figuring it out.
That's
But
fine.
ideally, ultimately, I want to be a distributor, not necessarily a clothing brand. But I also know in order to become a distributor, I need to start with something for people to buy.
Distribution, as in.
So, like how you're wearing that,
Uh-huh.
they can come to me and get the hoodie and then put what they want on it.
Okay.
Type
Do you want
distributor.
to like do the printing services as well, or just like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do
That's
everything.
something that I've been
So-
thinking about for Bermuda's.
So I was thinking more along the lines of you bring your designs, or if you need help with the designs, I can help you find someone to assist you with that, and then I do everything else.
Yeah. There's
and then-
something.
yeah.
that's-
So
where do you want it like based?
right now I probably use China, to get the stuff
Mm-hmm.
to get started at least.
But like the
But
like the
ultimately-
people that you want to like Bermudians then?
Oh yeah, for Bermudian brands, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
gotcha.
basically, like how you said you're an artist, right?
Yeah.
And for example, your hat. I have hats.
Got you.
And it has the 441 brand on the
Mhm.
side, and that's all it has. So it's almost like a alternative to New Era 47,
Got
different
you.
things like
Got
that.
you.
So therefore, you can come to me and
Mhm.
put art dealer on your hat and type
An
thing.
embroidery machine.
That's what I
is-
have.
You have it?
Yeah.
You bought one? Okay.
Yes,
That's
That's what I
next
have.
purchase. I
Yeah.
bought like a screen printing setup recently.
nice.
Embroidery coming soon. That
Okay.
costs, I don't know how much yours cost, but
I have.
They're a little
I had
pricey.
like honestly, it's my mom's.
Okay.
I'm
'Cause
running
there's,
that
like-
thing to the ringer.
Right.
I'm just using
Okay.
it. But at the end of the day, I also know that's not my passion. So for right now, for me to go and invest in a bigger machine, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm so many times I'm like, I'm tired of this little machine. Let me just buy a new one. But I'm just like, why am I going to pay almost $10,000 for something that's just going to sit and collect dust?
Yeah.
So I had to really stop and think about it. And that's where me focusing on the podcast came in, because this is my real passion. Like,
Mm-hmm.
is promoting Black excellence. That's, for me, is my real passion, is helping highlight Black excellence
I guess
and
it
help
does need.
help like help people learn new things. Basically, that's what's more important to
Yeah.
me than creating a clothing
You've done
brand.
that. I was
Because ultimately, when really the 441 brand came from me creating the Black Excellence Club, like, oh, I should create some T-shirts to go with the podcast. It's like, well, why am I gonna pay someone else to put my stuff on theirs if I could put it on my own stuff and distribute that way? And then that way I can also make additional income by having other people put using my stuff.
Yeah.
Type thing. So that's where the 441 brand came
Just
from.
try and like lock down every production.
Exactly.
And then like I don't
So-
know the names, but like.
But to cut the cost down and keep it in house, in a sense.
Yeah.
So that's really where that came from. So like even with this,
Mm-hmm.
I will put my 441 brand tag in it. This is a sample. They really messed up on the triangle. It's really supposed to be a small triangle there, and that's it. But that's what happens with samples. But it's all good. So now I know where I can go from there.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what brand I'm gonna use. Like again, in the beginning phases, I know the brand that I'm gonna use. I'm using like a recyclable organic type cotton. This is what this is. I really like it. It's really comfortable. And that's what I'm gonna start with, and then I will go and find my manufacturer to be like, okay, this is what I want. Do this.
What do you need done?
What do you mean? Like, I mean to make the
Okay,
clothing
got you.
itself, versus me going to someone else and getting it. Because right now I'm going to someone else getting it, printing it.
Mm-hmm.
Versus my manufacturer. Okay, this is how everything needs to come out. Just like how this comes with its own tag in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna have my tag in there,
Mm-hmm.
my logo on the sleeve, and that's it. That's how everything will come in. So yeah, that's the way that I want the clothing brand to go. But again, that's on the back burner now. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
because I just did my first launch in November, December, and it was called Footy Culture.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Wait,
what
I
it's
think I've
called.
heard of that.
Okay, nice. I'm getting.
Did you have people involved with it, or is it just you?
It was just me. Kellen took some photos
Okay.
for me while he was home. I was supposed to actually hire him to take photos, but I didn't get any models. But he has some free times, like, hey, come
Yeah.
bring your stuff. So
I'll have
I
to
got
look
a
at
few
that.
photos with him. But otherwise, nah. And I'm okay with that. Like, I did more than I was expecting with that first launch
Mm-hmm.
anyway. So I'm just like, okay, cool, thanks. But
Yeah.
no, it's like, okay, that was a good way to make quick money. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want the money. I want this.
Yeah. Clothing brand money is not that big.
Yeah.
Until you start getting lots of people.
That's definitely true.
Unless for the rate that we're going, I guess, or you're going,
True.
it takes a lot. It depends where you go. You could go like more luxury side, and then you don't need to sell as much to make a
That's true.
break even or make a profit with it.
Yeah.
I think that's something lacking in Bermuda in general. I've been having a lot of talks with this, is just luxury designer goods. Like, people, like, we're working on it. Like, I'll be doing it, we have other people, but like, there's so much money in Bermuda, like obscene amounts of money, and you have to go away to spend it.
You're absolutely
Like, there's
right.
no, like, I'm not promoting people that wear like Gucci or Louis or whatever's like your preference on it, but the fact is you can't even get it in Bermuda. So there you like,
You're right.
right?
You can't.
There's a very big lack in the market, and we're like, what, the 4th richest country in the world.
Yeah.
There's money to be gotten here,
Yeah.
but it'll come eventually. We'll see.
Okay.
If we get into that.
But it's interesting that you said that, because even with the 441 brand, or if I created, well, yeah, even with the 441 brand, I always said it will be a luxury brand. So if you were to ever get anything from me, the package literally says the 441 brand, a luxury brand.
Yeah.
So ultimately, that's the goal, but right now it's not going to be a luxury brand.
That's sort of what I've been thinking more about Bermuda, because like, we're never gonna have the numbers that a place like London or Paris, anywhere else really, will have. So I guess you sort of have to market yourself differently.
Yeah.
Or like, let's say 60,000 people buy your clothing. Like, that's not that much for like a good brand in like London.
That's
like, I
what
know brands
doing
like monthly sales of like, I don't know, $1 million sale like every month.
Yeah.
So if you can't get that much, which obviously not 60,000 people aren't gonna buy your stuff, you gotta like approach it a different way.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'll be doing, and other people will start catching on, I think, in the future.
Most definitely. What was the process of expanding your brand from the Shoes of Bermuda? And what were some of the hardships you had with expanding?
The process was me going away for university.
Okay.
And I don't know, I've always known people all around the world somehow. Like, either through my friends, like my good friend Yusuf, like he went to boarding school, and then I met his friends that went like, who came here, or I've traveled away, or, and then once I went to university, then I created more of like I don't want to call it a fan base, but like people that support me, like within England as well. And then, yeah. And
how would you say that fan base is it compared to Bermuda, if you can compare them?
There are people, but I think that's a good question. I think maybe people here, I don't know. I don't really know the difference, to be honest.
That's fine.
I don't like, I just try and create good content that if a person looked at it, they would be like, yeah, that's good. Okay. So I'm not, obviously certain content hits better depending what it's about. So maybe like these hats and like my art go crazy in Bermuda, because like I have a dedicated, like, those are like homies that have been there.
And that's that's really how I came across you, is because I think you said
Jabari.
Yeah, definitely from Jabari.
Oh, yeah, also I forgot to say that.
But multiple people posted it. I'm just like, I'm just seeing the share of the it's dropping soon. So I'm just like, okay, art dealer. It was just a hat. I'm just like,
that was interesting to see. I got like 6K views on that.
Yeah.
Or like, and looking on that, on like who is like like half of my followers, and then the rest was like
unknown followers. Yeah. It like, that's where it comes down to using social media to work for you.
Yeah.
And that's where having a supportive audience comes in, because if they don't share it, then you would not have that much engagement type thing.
Yeah, I think that's something I've been like really focusing on. I was thinking, so last night I was like so excited for this. I didn't get like any sleep. Like, I was listening to this Squirrel podcast.
Okay.
And just like thinking about life and art and stuff. And then, where am I going with this? 1 second. Okay, about like Instagram and like engagement and followers and stuff. Damn, I lost my point. Give me a second. What was I saying?
It's okay. What did you like most about Squirrel's interview?
So much about it. I didn't know he was into that. I haven't seen him in a while.
You mean into the trading, or?
Yeah, into trading.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I knew him from like,
riding.
yeah, like I rode with him. He coached me, and like I learned with him.
Right.
So that was interesting. It was really just interesting to see a new perspective of him that I hadn't seen. And then listening to you guys talk about trading was very insightful. And then I watched another one you were doing on your own, just talking about, specifically you're talking about drip.
Oh, that's the one that just dropped.
Yeah.
The investments.
Yeah, that must have been here, no?
No, I did that back home.
Okay, got you.
But I did
that was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my
Into
stuff
investing.
sorted. Yeah,
I mean, it's easy. I feel like it's easier out here in the aspect of you have, what's that app called?
Coinbase?
No, that's for crypto. Oh my goodness.
There's a bunch of them. Binance?
No,
I think these are all crypto
those are all
ones.
crypto. Oh my goodness, what is it called? I can't. It's green. It's a green app. Where you invest. Bro, I'm really blanking out right now. There's a few of them. Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
Trading.
Let's see. Hold on.
Got
Because
this.
I know what it looks like.
I'm gonna remember this point that I had about followers by the end of this podcast.
Robinhood.
Ah,
So
yeah,
you can
yeah,
use
okay.
apps like Robinhood and stuff out here, but and Weibo and different things like that, but I can't use that at home.
Yeah.
So it's like, for anyone that's outside of Bermuda, it's very easy to start investing. But in Bermuda, you have to know people. You have to know how to. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to be in the know, and that's a part of the reason that I did that is because, well, the reason is I posted this reel of $20,000, right? I withdrew $20,000 because I can. And because I was moving it from bank to bank, instead of paying 50 cents, like, nah, I'm gonna withdraw it. I'm just gonna take my little 10-step walk and deposit it back. But I also did it as a reminder to myself, like, you can do this, and now let's double it the next time you do it. But a lot of people it's not easy for us to just start investing in Bermuda if you don't know how. And I feel like as a culture, it's kept away from us.
Definitely.
So
Definitely. But there's so much, like, yeah. I mean, we're a insurance, like, finance, fintech island. Like,
exactly.
that's what keeps us up. But the knowledge is kept within those circles. But so that's why I'm, like, really happy to see you guys talk about it.
Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely trying to put it out there, and that's a part of the reason I started the podcast as well. It's because I was trying to learn how to invest.
It can be fun too. Like, obviously there's losses and those hurt, but
it's a whole process, but it's all good. But I mean, I literally started this because I was trying to learn how to invest, and I wasn't learning from anyone that looked like me.
got you.
And that's
cool
what
that,
sparked it. Like, that's really like, no, this is why you're doing this. To give someone that's listening, like you just said, you listen to it and you learn something from it, and that's awesome to hear.
Yeah,
So,
representation.
Yeah, most
For sure.
definitely. So what would you say is a question you put in the questionnaire too? How do you feel about art and money, and how are they linked?
Okay. How do I feel about art and money? I think of money as a tool. So I'm interested in gaining a better tool set. And then I think of art sort of as expression. I think of art is really just my life in general. I'm sort of like, I don't know, I was thinking about this yesterday, like the question of like, what is art to me? And I really don't know where to start with that. It's sort of just my life of how I see stuff.
Okay.
So the link between the two is just maybe I'm interested in monetizing my creativity. And I'm interested in connecting with people. And I think this is what my point on the followers was talking about. But just like, I'm really interested in social interactions and what you can get from that.
Yeah.
And
the networking as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because connections are literally everything in this life.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know. I feel like it's so interlinked. I don't know. I could go so many different ways. Like, my brain goes crazy.
I feel like art is currency, though.
It is its own currency. And then, I don't know, this is a random tangent, but have you seen this, this new startup company in the US that is like, takes like a stock method of like idea on selling paintings and artworks, where you buy like a share
like
of an artwork, and then when the artwork sells, you get a portion of it.
That's a really smart idea.
There's this person that just followed me
that does that.
Yeah, she's involved with it.
Okay.
But I think at some point when I get my money up again, I will be investing in that.
Okay.
Before this, was it this summer or last summer, I was gonna invest I think, is it Clarion? Yeah, I think it is Clarion. But the max was 10K at the time, and I didn't have that.
Oh, you mean to start?
Yeah, to put into a...
They tell you 10K, but it's really 5.
Yeah, because... Yeah.
And even if they tell you 5, it's really 2. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Because when I went through, it was like, bro, you're telling me I can't start with anything less?
Yeah.
Like, because I was just like, really? Because I was in the...
I wasn't, too determined to. I'm sure, I wasn't deterred by that. Really,
okay.
I just had other things going on, and I wasn't, thinking about that,
right.
fully. But I'm aware, a family member has an account there, and I talked with them, so at some point I'll be getting into that more.
Okay. Yeah, it's just... To the listeners, don't be deterred by the amount that they tell you have to start with, because at the end of the day, you don't always have to start with that amount. There are ways around it. The reason they say that is just so you get a better value for your money, if that makes sense, because of the price of the stocks, because of the fees associated with getting the money to the account, the fees
more money you get,
if you do smaller amounts, it's gonna cost you more. If you do larger amounts, it's gonna cost you less. But at the end of the day,
and the percentage will be bigger for the larger.
But at the end of the day,
2% of whatever.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, they should just want you to start. So I don't know. That's just.
I don't think they care too much about
But at the same time, they're not looking for people like us to start.
Yeah.
So that's really where it comes down to. They're not looking for people like us to start. So.
Yeah. I don't think they are.
They're looking for people that have that lump sum. Yes.
I don't really think they're looking for a quote unquote new market, are they?
Mm.
They're just banking on it.
Mm-hmm.
The people that are there making them a good money, and then people that are friends with them that maybe aren't, and it's not that diversified.
No, it's not.
I don't think.
Although
I don't know though.
Mind you, when I signed up with Clarion, the person that helped me set up my account and whatnot, I knew from high school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just oh, okay, didn't realize you did
That's
this.
Also the thing on connections.
It's just
people.
Okay, I know you. I know your sister. Okay, I didn't know this is what you did, but at the same time, you would never know unless you try and make that step.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That was something that Squirrel was talking about in the podcast. That was really is a good reminder of just of how he looks at problems. Of just okay, we'll get around this type thing, instead of thinking immediately oh, I can't do that. Just I think it's important to question everything, in the sense of if you're thinking that you can't do something, question why not.
Yeah.
Why can't you do that?
Yeah.
And
or how can I do this?
Yeah, within reason. Some things don't need to be or maybe so. Maybe everything needs to be questioned.
Yeah.
But questioning is very important.
Yeah.
I feel gaining the most understanding possible on something, and that's what I was thinking about. Of at the moment, that's what I'm trying to focus on the most, as far as my Instagram account goes, is learning how to, I guess, promote and market and all those words are really just learning how to connect with people like very well
as much as you can within the platform.
Yeah, because I was thinking about this of like past generations and building upon past generations, and obviously I come from a family of artists, or my dad's an artist, and I know artists from Bermuda, and I was just thinking like what are the reasons like they're not like in like
Hold on one sec.
Yeah,
you can get in. Alright.
yeah. Of just connecting with people better. I think that was my point. Is like, I think where, and bringing back to what you guys were talking about in the previous podcast of like studying failure, like failure is like, I don't want to say that in a patronizing or mean way, but like studying where people have gone wrong. And I feel like if you were to look at so many like older Bermudian artists, or just not my generation, people that I guess I'm looking back on, not people that are
old,
I guess, but like old's a relative term anyways, but like the only thing is really just not enough people know about it, about stuff, right? Because like I could take like so many artists that I know of, like family, friends, my dad, like if I were to put one of my dad's pots in the Guggenheim or the Tate Modern, you would assume it's worth millions, but it's not, because either people don't know about it, it's not in the right environment, and that's I think Virgil Abloh talks about this, like I guess something's worth can drastically change by just putting it in a different environment. So I'm
Most
trying
definitely.
to just like learn how to create a world, and like learn how to get eyes on us, because I'm not in a cocky way. I'm not concerned about the quality of my art not being there.
Okay.
Like every single day I'm working like on getting better, because there's no way I'm gonna like just be complacent, but I know my artwork's there already. It's just getting eyes and people to understand and creating a world behind it that'll take it to the next level, I guess.
And I love that you just said that, because Jabari literally said that within the next questions that I'm gonna ask you is he literally said, like, if like what I think the question was, what advice would you give to any creative or something like that, and he said it would be to create every day. It doesn't matter what you're doing, but create something every single day.
Yeah, so that's how I started. So when I started the Hooddvouge page, and like I don't know, these years are all mixed up, but like last year of high school, and then as I was finishing, COVID time happened.
Okay. So what year did you graduate?
2020.
Okay.
Young buck.
Baby. Oh my god. Can't even ask you the first question. Jesus.
I started for like maybe 6 months to a year. I did at least one artwork of it every day.
Okay.
I don't think I have my laptop with me, but I have like collections. I have collection 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And each collection is from each year. So the first collection was like I did a work almost every day for like half a year.
Okay.
And that really got me started. I think that's important for people to just, if you're into art and you want to get better, do it every single day.
Yeah, most definitely.
And that's with anything, really. Like, that goes for literally anything you want to get better at. If you do it every single day, you're going to get to a point where you're going to get better.
Yeah. You shouldn't be getting worse.
And then, so then at a point I stopped, And I was like, oh, why should I do this again? Like, should I go back to daily? And it's just I got to a point where doing it daily doesn't help.
Okay.
At a certain point. So then I learned, like, I started like honing in on skills and ideas that I couldn't just paint like immediately. But I think for new artists or artists I want to get better, doing it every day.
Do it every day.
And still, if you, I think I can still do art every day and still work on it, but it just depends how you
do
balance it. Depends who you are.
That too. Is there anything that you want to discuss that we haven't covered?
I just want to hear what you have about like trading and stuff.
Trading.
Yeah, I don't like. What is it like? Could we start like basics? Like, could you give like a little synopsis on?
Okay, so trading.
And how do you like find out about it? Because I'm interested on like making sure my money's right. And it's not my main priority right now, but I think it's important, especially if you're a young person right now, to be financially aware and like it's easy to blow your money.
Most
and
definitely.
I do it. Like, I'm not good at like saving or investing my money, but I'm aware of my problems. I think.
As long as you're aware, it's all good.
Yeah, I'll get like.
So basically, trading it can be looked at all different ways, right? So it's basically the way that the world works. So there's the stocks trading, which is what the Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay.
You seen that? So
Yeah,
they're saying it's going up, it's going down. That's trading.
Okay.
Right, and that's what most people see as trading as well. And then the type of trading that you're asking about is currency exchange.
Yeah.
So
like
currency,
Forex.
yeah. So that's basically the British pound versus the U.S. dollar. The British pound is worth more than the U.S. dollar. That's basically all it is. It's going up and down, going up and down, going up and down.
So what type of stuff do you?
And it's with every currency. So you got the Japanese yen, you have the Canadian dollar, you have the euro, you have the Jamaican dollar. Like every currency there is, you can basically trade it. And there's so many different ways that you can do it. You could do it where it's fast, like you're only in it for like five minutes.
Yeah, I was
you can do
listening
it whereas
to a podcast.
you could do it whereas you're in it for 15, 20 minutes. It all depends on the person.
Yeah.
I feel like if anyone's getting into it, study, do it every day, just like you mentioned.
Do you think your like personality influence the way like you're like investing?
Yes, most definitely.
Strategy.
So if you're like an impulsive person, you would probably want to do the faster way of trading. Yeah, because you want it done and you want it done now, versus waiting 2 to 3 months to see your money grow. If that makes sense. Okay. So it's like, say the market.
I feel like that's still short term now.
Yeah, I mean like it is short term. So forex trading is short term, in a sense. I feel like it will always be short term, unless you're trading on like a monthly time frame type thing.
I don't get how. Yeah.
So the time frames, you can set it at whatever you want. So you can set it at a day, 4 hours, 12 hours, 1 minute, 5 minutes, different things like that. And that's with any market. You can set it to that sort of time frame. However, some things you're limited on the times that you can do stuff. So
when it's closed, depending on what market.
Yeah, when the markets are open and closed. So when it comes to forex trading, it's more of buying high, selling low. It's the easiest way to put it.
How does it work for like? I think I can grasp my head around the like longer term like 2 to 3 month ones, but like the mini tiny like 1 minute trades, is it literally just like you buy and then when it makes that low tiny like dip or like
basically
goes up and you just capitalize on that tiny little bit
basically,
right there?
A lot of people do that.
Really?
So some people, it's the easiest way to put it. So say the market's here, right, and you're on like a 1 minute time frame. So each bar or each however you have it is gonna be 1 minute.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically you buy it here and it just drops to here and you close out. So within 1 minute you made money.
But it went down.
Yeah. So you would sell it. So if it's up, you would sell it to there, and then you close it. So you take your money, and then what goes down must come back up, essentially, right? So then you can also do it on the reverse side and buy low, and sell it when it gets back.
That's
to
what
same
I'm
point.
that makes the most sense to me. I'm more confused about it. It almost seems the reverse of buying high and sell. Are you selling low?
No, you. Sorry, I probably said it wrong. I'm sorry. So you buy low, sell high.
Okay.
That's what.
Can you make money that reverse though? Like buying high, and can you make money on the when it's going down?
When it's still going up.
No, when it's going down. Is that possible?
Yeah, so that's where the selling comes in.
Okay.
So if it's going down, you sell.
Yeah.
If it's going up, you buy.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So if it's going up, you buy. If it's going down, you sell.
Simple principle.
But nothing is guaranteed. That's when it comes to any sort of investing. Money in general is never guaranteed that you make money, unless you're punching in a clock. But then even that can get taken away from you. So a lot of people with trading see it as, oh, I could just make money real fast because they see what's on Instagram and what's on YouTube. But that's not really it.
Yeah. Also, does it make sense? Okay, say at the end of the summer I have actually no, let's not even do that. I'll say if I only have $200 to put in, or if I were to have 10,000, would a different strategy be more effective? Would long term be more effective if you have more money, or short term, the low minute trades be better if you had less money? Does it make?
It all depends on the person.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it depends on your risk tolerance, right? That's just in general. So even if you start with $200, it's easier to do it with the small minute trades because of all the fees and stuff like that. It's easier. And it's more cost effective for you to start that way. But once you get, what I've learned is that once you get to the larger amounts of money, people generally trade less. Yeah. So they're like, okay, let me make X amount of dollars and I'm done. Or I take it out and I start over. Yeah. I make this amount, start over. Make this out, start over. But when you start with say $200, your goal is to get to 5,000, and then you can, and then you can start doing that. But now the way that trading is now, they have prop firms. So once you really learn how to trade, you can go and
What's a prop firm?
So a prop firm is someone that basically gives you the money.
Okay, so that's what you're talking about in Squirrels, about you invest a 20K, and you buy your I don't know, they give you pay 20K, and then you have this a capital of 200 to work with, or is that something different?
Yes, but you said it in the opposite way.
Okay.
So basically, with the $200 that you have, you can buy this challenge to have a $50,000 account, $100,000 account, $200,000 account. So basically, what you need to do is learn how to trade before you even do that. Because all you're gonna do is just keep wasting your money, and that's how the prop firms really make their money. It's people failing. Right. Because that's money because that's money that they get and you will get back. However, if you know how to trade prior to doing that, you go into this prop firm challenge, you pass it, they refund you your money back.
Oh, okay.
So you get your money back for passing. Okay. And then on top of that, you make money with their money, you get an 80% split. So you take 80%, they keep 20% of what you make. That seems most of them are 70 is the lowest, but most of them are at 80 and the highest is 90. And I think maybe one prop firm is 95 that you take and they keep 5. Because the idea is, if you stay profitable, they stay profitable. Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt them.
It doesn't hurt them at all, because the people that keep losing keep putting money in their pocket, right? So if there's few that are funded are continuously making money, then you're both making money.
Fail, just free money almost.
Yeah, basically.
Fair enough.
So that's what it is when it comes to prop firms.
Interesting. Yeah. That's interesting. It's interesting to think about money, because it's almost just a ethereal. Yes. But it's not. But it is. But it's interesting to learn more about. Because I appreciate you putting out this stuff, because I'll be looking into it more, and I'll talk to
Okay.
you more when
Yeah.
I have like.
Watch out for the scammers. Just don't.
Yeah,
Watch
no,
out,
I
watch
dodged
out
the
for
whole
the scammers because they
that's
are
why-
real.
the whole forex thing was hilarious, because I know it's real, like it's a whole.
It's real.
It's real, but I
It
remember
looks
in
very
like
fake. 2020, it was fake.
It was, yeah,
Like half the
it was
people
laughable.
yeah.
Because there's so many people like doing the little multi-level marketing
Yes,
schemes.
and that's what is the scam.
Yeah.
Trading itself is not a scam.
Yeah.
It's the multi-level
getting-
marketing is that's the part that is the actual scam.
But it's like on the
Excuse me.
back of.
Because with that, they're not teaching you how to trade. They're just teaching you to get more people into the program.
Yeah.
Versus if you just learn how to trade, you will always make money.
Yeah.
You won't need people to come and do something in order to make money.
Yeah, you don't need to pay to like.
Yeah, you don't need to pay to do it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with investing in a
Mhm.
course so you can learn.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, even if you do buy a course, don't try to trade exactly like that person because your risk and their risk is going to be completely different.
Yeah.
So you always have to, even if you are buying a course, you just have to tailor it to yourself.
Yeah, that's what I sort of got from what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's very personal because like the way you invest or.
Everything that you do
Yeah.
with your money
It's
is
very
personal.
specific to
Yeah.
who you. How
Because what
things
I
work.
may do with my money, you may not be willing to do with yours.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah,
So-
like the whole risk thing.
Yeah. It all comes down to
Tolerance.
risk.
And would you say you have a low risk?
Me?
What would you say?
When it comes to investing or
Mhm.
trading?
Uh,
Because I consider them different.
okay.
Because trading,
Could we get into that too? But I would say trading.
I would say I keep my risk low because at the end of the day, when it comes to trading, you want to maintain your capital
Mm-hmm.
as much as possible. Like, I'm not a profitable trader.
Mhm.
I lose all the time. I'm going to say that right now.
Mhm.
I am still, that's something that I still work on.
Are you just like trying to like incrementally like just get your like?
I'm just trying to get profitable. It doesn't, I don't
Okay.
care if I lose all my money right now.
Mm-hmm.
As long as in the next year or so, and then another thing is when it comes to trading, don't look at it within a month. You have to look at it at years.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because that's another misconception is people look at it, oh, I can make this amount of money a certain amount of money.
Gotcha.
But that's where a lot of people fail is because, or they give up. It's because they don't see any results. So I know my issue is that it's consistency with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't stay consistent with actually learning and
Mhm.
physically trading. That's where I lose out on myself,
Okay.
and I accept that. But if I were to stay consistent, like in times where I was being consistent with it, I was making money.
Yeah.
So if you stick with it, it's like just like art, like you said. If you
Mhm.
do it every day, you'll get better.
Yeah.
At it. If you practice every single day, you will get better at it. So
That's
It's
why
the
I'm
same thing.
interested in like this type of stuff, because at the moment what's gonna make me the most money realistically is gonna be my art.
mhm.
But then once you have the money, I want to know what to do with it. I don't want to blow it. Or
Yeah,
just,
so
I want
I
to
would-
just create, like, I know it's cliche, but I want to be wealthy, not rich.
Yes,
So
same here.
learning how to
So that's where I would.
what to do with my money once
So
I
I would say, look more so into investing than trading,
have it. Okay.
because investing is more long term. So invest in something that you can start now
Yeah.
and continue to compound it,
That's-
compound it, because compound is basically what creates
Compound
wealth.
interest is amazing.
Compound interest
It's such a
is wealth.
crazy. Yeah. No.
Once,
How it
as long
just
as you
doubles
compound,
and-
you're good.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter. And a lot of people, some people is like, oh, well, I don't see anything. No, it's like, well, you don't
You're
have
not-
to.
Yeah.
Don't look at it right now.
Yeah.
Look at it 2 years from now. Like even for
Yeah.
me, for my story is I started with, well, I
Do you
think it was 350 shares, and now
Mhm.
it's almost 5,000.
Okay, I was
And
trying to
that's
do the
just-
calculations
and
on that. Like,
it's almost 5. It's not 5,000 yet, but it's almost there. But it's just like
hmm
it's consistency.
Do you
It's just
think-
staying consistent.
So if we go back to the topic of like art and money
Mhm.
and maybe artists, do you think like maybe like for artist type people, if that makes sense,
Hmm.
do you think maybe an investing type model would be better if you're trying to like become wealthy or just like have money work for you.
Yeah.
Instead of trading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because investing the money will always work for you. Well,
Yeah.
it should. I can't say.
If
Nothing's
you make the
guaranteed.
right
It should always work for you.
Mm.
But trading is it's more risky.
I did do that actually. I have like a demo profile with KPMG.
Okay.
And I was like, me and my friend, we did like a little competition one time.
Okay.
We started with like, low. It was like 100,000 just for fun. And then we just traded and see how much we could get. And I think I'm at like $1 million now.
Okay.
Or something with the stocks that I.
Yeah, I mean,
did.
So trading you can still do with stocks as well, like the same way they do forex trading.
Yeah.
Because people make money off of that as well with stocks. So that's why I say trading is a bigger thing than just trading.
Do you think at some point will you release a certain amount of control of like your finances to like accounting, like right? Because like you're doing this all for yourself, like all yourself, but at some point you may have the money to.
Yeah, so
right? Or maybe you are. I don't know.
That's what's next for me is because like even with something like that, you have to start with a minimum of 20K.
Yeah.
Especially in Bermuda, you have to start with a large amount of money. So for me,
is it just because Bermuda is expensive?
It's like because they don't want us to do it.
Us, okay.
Yeah, that's the way that I see it. Because that's just the way that I see it. They don't want us to start it. They don't want us to keep money. They don't want us to be wealthy. There's a stigma about us always being poor, always living paycheck to paycheck, and I'm not for that. Sorry.
Me neither.
I'm not for it at all.
I never thought I was gonna be living that way for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine it, bro.
There's no shame in that.
Yeah.
Because that's how I live, and also that's how many people live. But I don't want to live that way forever.
Yeah, but we can always talk about this any other time.
Yeah.
Let's just start wrapping it up because I think our time is almost up.
Gotcha.
Since you're just over 18, I'm still gonna ask you the question. But what advice would you give to 18-year-old you about what you're doing now?
Keep going. Yeah.
Just keep going.
I could, these questions are like
very open-ended.
Not in a bad way, just like I think though at the same time I don't think I'd want to interfere too much with like. Obviously, if I said maybe something super specific, but I'd also be a whole different person. So keep doing you, and try and become better. Be a better person than you were the day before. Yeah. And if you do that, then you're guaranteed to get better at whatever you're doing.
Right.
So I wouldn't be too specific. I think just trust where you're at.
Yeah.
And that's what I'd tell someone else too. So.
Okay. What advice would you give to our listeners on entrepreneurship? Or being a creative?
That's a good question. Dream big. Especially coming from Bermuda. I think, I think people are starting to think a little bigger now. But just because we're this small little island does not mean we can't do crazy things. Or and even within Bermuda, people have been institutionally taught to like not think like as big. Yeah. So maybe dream big, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
What's next for you and Hooddvouge?
So next will be another fashion drop, clothing collection that will be accompanied with a movie that I'm working on with my friends.
Okay.
So like a fashion movie with it. Oh, also, if you're in Bermuda, especially, which if you're watching this, you probably are, I won't be there, but I'm having a show.
What show?
Yeah, with Dion and Yassine.
Okay.
And Lamar, I think that's his name. It's Nuisance on Instagram.
Okay.
I think it's called For Bermudas, so I'll be having some pieces in there for if you're in Bermuda, you could check my art out physically.
Okay.
I have a lot of stuff. Also, if you're anywhere in the world, if you're following my Instagram, which you should,
Most definitely.
I'll be releasing some prints of, based on I was talking about the collections thing from each collection from up to date.
Okay.
So, for people, I want to sort of create. I want to be able to have, like, everyone be able to have. How do I say this? Have a part in Hooddvouge. So obviously, not everyone can buy the paintings that I sell because they're not for like
everyone.
They're not for the my student friends or like people working like I don't know. And but I want to have a little bit of everything for everyone. So this print drop is like within like $20. It's probably the max. So I'm trying to. That's something for people if you're younger or you don't want to spend too much but you still want art, then that's something.
And what would that look like? That's like a textile, or is it
so that will be print out of so this is all a digital collection.
Okay,
so
covered.
Yeah, I forgot to like mention that I do digital art like from my page, but I do like paintings and stuff, and that's sort of more high end type.
Okay.
On the scale of what I do, and then the digital art. Not to say it won't be pricier, but it's easier
to distribute.
Yeah.
Okay. What? Yeah, there's actually that. What would you say to your future self 5 years from now?
I was thinking about this on the train. I would say good job, yeah, and keep on going. 'Cause there's more to do, but I guess I'm proud of you.
Okay. And lastly, where do you see yourself in Hooddvouge in 5 years' time?
In 5 years' time, Hooddvouge, I'd like to have, okay, monetarily wise, I'd like to be self-sufficient off of it.
Okay.
And to maybe have one or two like people working for the brand and be able to step back from it and on the business end and just be able to work creatively on that, because my passion isn't necessarily arts, and it is arts, it's not necessarily business. So I'd rather have other people who like hire someone or work with someone that's more like who's a professional at that stuff.
Okay.
And then grow it, really.
It's interesting that you said that, because what I'm learning is if there's something that you can't do adequately, it's okay to hire someone.
Yeah,
that
no, I know
exactly
what I'm good at.
Yeah.
And it's art and like creative direction, and I know I have an eye, but I'm not particularly the most organized person or like business savvy. And that's fine, because I would just hire someone and outsource my work. Because if you look at every big company, almost all big companies outsource some part of their job. Yeah. And they're big companies.
Exactly. And that's how they stay big. And that's the reason they're big.
If you do everything yourself, you're handicapping yourself. I don't plan on having any of this, like, just me. At the moment, I think Hooddvouge is, like, it looks quite personal, but within the next 2 years or so, you'll see it's more of a company type. It's a group of people. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Do you have any other questions for me before we finish up?
I think I'll have so much to talk to you about, like as we like get to know each other and stuff. But no, I think that's it for right now.
All right. Let the listeners know where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Hooddvouge, and then at hooddvouge.com, or just hooddvouge.com. Okay. So if you want to purchase stuff, that will be where the prints are, and where I think there's three hats left. So if you want to cop one.
So hold on. You have 3 hats left. When did you launch it?
I think like a week or 2 ago.
And how many did you have in total?
30 or 40.
Okay, and you sold
It's
out.
not that much, but
But you sold out. But you're basically almost sold out.
I'm not sold out yet. So.
But almost three
Yeah.
hats left, and
So
then
it's
you'll be
out,
sold
I
out.
have like this color. There's black, green, and pink. I think I have
Okay.
one in each left.
Okay.
So
Alright. That's great, man. That's awesome. Thank you, Nathaniel, for coming through to the
Thank
Black
you.
Excellence Love podcast.
Appreciate
And my name is Hooddvouge. I am the host, and I am on a journey from unknown to unforgettable. And thank you
Wow.
for listening, guys.
Thank you.